in Creative Memorial Planning Group, there are multiple people that do some form of doula work or that are expressing interest in that, and they're
Mhm.
called to that like you have been. And I want to kind of ask you, can you share, maybe share your screen and show us a little bit more an insight into the business that you have for people that might be interested in this kind of thing?
Awesome. Yes, I'd love to share with y'all. Um, we have I've started a end of life doula program, which is the International Doula Life Movement. And so I'm so excited to share this with y'all.
Yeah.
This is our website here. You can go in, you can learn a little information about what a doula is, why to become a doula, and
Oh,
things that we can do as a doula. And um, so you can go and you can check out our website. There's questions. There's also information that you can just hit on with
so
us.
hold
And
up. You have courses for this is what's happening. You're starting courses for people to do what?
to become certified end of life doulas.
Oh, okay. Wow,
So
that's amazing. Yeah.
we have gotten together and I've put together a team that I'm working with,
Oh,
kind of like a hospice team. We have an RN, LVNs, CNAs, grief counselors,
wow.
chaplains,
That's powerful. Wow.
and it's amazing. Everything has just really transformed, and we're so excited because we have a class starting January 9th, which is this coming Saturday. And I'm going to go ahead and switch from this for just a
Sure.
second.
So that
This
that
right,
website was International Doula Life Movement.com.
doulalifemovement.com.
Okay. And we'll
Yes.
have that link below just so people know. Excuse me.
So, let me go.
Oh, wait, back up. I love that you answered my question. Back up to what is a doula?
So, an end of life doula um, is a
Love that.
non medical, professionally trained to care for terminally ill persons, physical, emotional, and holistic needs during the death process.
That makes it very clear. Thank you.
And so, I like to give everybody that definition because many people don't know about doulas,
Right.
end of life doula. They know of birthing doulas,
Right.
um, but end of life doulas have actually not. It's not something that's completely brand new.
Right.
Years and years ago, our ancestors provided they sit vigil with their loved ones when
Right.
they were dying, took care
That's
of
right.
So, but this is things that we can do. We can be a companion. We can create peaceful environments. Oops, what happened there? Sorry about that. We can
Whoopsie.
provide a mind of its own. We can provide emotional and spiritual support, initiate conversations about the dying process.
So
Um,
important. So important.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Because sometimes we as the person looking from the inside into inside, we can see that maybe the patient has declined on eating, they're sleeping more. We see that they're starting to take place into the transitional stages. So sometimes we need to bring that up to the family,
Yeah,
because
and
they're like,
sometimes, like, because my dad had a battle with cancer, and sometimes family members aren't they see those symptoms, but they don't really know what they mean. So it's
"Mhm,
good to have a doula and hospice people to help with this, but kind of spelling that out and having those conversations to kind of create that awareness without
exactly."
fear because you've got support there from that doula
Or sometimes
support.
I find family members, if it's a group of family members, they all see it, but they're all afraid to mention it
Right,
because
right.
they
They
don't
don't
want
wanna deal
someone
with it
else.
yet. Right.
Yeah, and so being the doula, we can step in and say, okay, you know what, we're transitioning here, and these are the things that we're going to be looking at, that we're
So
going to be
helpful.
seeing,
Yeah, yeah.
and so we support the family, staff as well, to help reduce burnout and fatigue.
Wow, that's
Um,
huge.
Especially
Yeah.
because a lot of times families have the patients at home. They may need. We can, the doula can come in and do the visit with the patient, and that hour or 2 hours or whatever that time frame is, that can be that love the caregiver's time to go and have coffee or,
Right.
just sit
Get a
outside and read a
massage.
book. Yeah.
Get a massage, take a nap.
Take their time for themselves, which is really, really important. Education, going through the process and explaining to them, things that they're seeing. Sometimes helping to regenerate or seeing that the hospice did training on certain things. We might have to come back in and say, you know what, let's hospice needs to come back and retrain about this medication, you know,
That's awesome
and
right there. Yeah.
providing angel vigil watches. I call them the angel vigil watches.
Yeah, what
Um,
is that? What does that mean?
where we come in and we're there as the patient is, might be a day or two before the patient passes, and we're there to be able to offer that support, answer some of those unknown questions that arise,
Wow,
and be
that's
that support
amazing.
there for the family and for the
Yeah,
patient, give them the, you know help with the lighting of the room, the aroma, um,
right.
keeping everybody focused on what's going on with the patient.
What that's beautiful, because it can be a scary time for people and a
Hmm.
shocking time. So to have someone that has a handle on that and has had experience in that and can bring calm to
Right,
that scenario, that's
exactly.
huge. I love this.
And like I said, sometimes, other doulas, they do different parts. We have the companion, doing the advanced directives and things like that sort. And then, of course, the end of life doula. And so, why do we
Wait, I
need
wanna say,
doulas?
pay attention, people. Pay attention to this part.
Yes, this is really
This
important
is real.
because
Yeah,
why do we need end of life doulas? Well, you think about it, due to the growing numbers of the elder population, and also now families are opting to take their loved ones home. A patient that I work with, the family had the loved one in a nursing home right when all this COVID situation hit and decided to bring the family member home because they were going to lose out on seeing their loved one.
brilliant. Yeah,
So they're bringing loved ones home. And so they may not know all the ins and outs on caring and things like that
right.
for, the basic needs that the patient might need. So that's where a doula can come in and help and guide them and add,
I love that.
resources if needed.
I wanna
Um,
say too that when just my personal experience, this is such a beautiful thing because my dad, as I mentioned, had cancer, and he was in facility after facility for, like, the last 2.5 years of his life, and he finally he was in hospital, and he begged to go home. So, we
mhm,
brought him home, and I've heard of people, who have lost loved ones while they were in the hospital, and during the pandemic, it's so much harder because people can't get in to visit because of the risk of spreading the COVID. It's very limited and very hard on people in that scenario. Not to diss in any way our amazing hero health workers around the world that are dealing with this. But my dad, just in contrast, I just feel so good that he was home. He was able to
mhm.
be home where that was his wish. So this is a beautiful way to let someone have that last kind of wish that they want for their life to be in the comfort of their own home and have the doula support them there. Beautiful service.
Oh, yes, definitely. And also too, because a lot of places are only allowing certain numbers of people to come in and also requiring before you come into their facility to be tested.
Right. There's a lot more rigmarole
So
to just visiting anymore. Yeah.
right. And so other people from, maybe that they already have this one essential caregiver, the other people that want to come in and say their goodbyes can't in some places.
Very
So
sad. Yeah.
this gives us an opportunity to, allow to make those things happen for the loved ones that are getting ready to pass. And like you said, patients want to be at home. There's many patients that want to be at home. And this way we can give them that support to make that happen for them.
I want
Um,
to say too, this sentence, more families are opting to care for loved ones at home. I think, and this is kind of where I'm really resonating with everything that doulas do. And because I'm here to advocate alternatives to the traditional kind of abrupt, quick, very expensive, planet destructive kind of stuff. And this, to me, the whole gentleness of doula work and putting the care of a loved one and the dying experience right back in the hands of the people where it,
mhm,
in my opinion, should be. And
right.
it kind of goes back, like you said, people did doula work a couple of hundred years ago. It's just in the last
Right.
couple of hundred years that the medical industry and the corporate world have kind of taken that, snatched that experience away from us. And what you're describing with the doula work, what I like about this is not only are you putting the care for the dying back in the hands of people who truly care about them, but they're also getting this wealth of experience and support from doulas to help give them that support to go through that, because people aren't used to this. Honestly, they just turn a blind eye and hand their money away and let somebody else deal with it. And this, I just really want to harp that point, strike that point, and bring that point out to people. If you really want something that's more meaningful and a little more gentle, and yeah, and really kind of bring your family close together with a support from someone that has that kind of, I sound like a commercial for you, but I really I really believe the value of this is tremendous, and I hope more people do this. I'm sorry I interrupted you. Go
Oh, no,
ahead.
no, no. I mean, you're
I just think it's
absolutely
awesome.
right. And then also too, going back to what we had talked about a little earlier was, end of life doulas fill in the gaps for medical care because, whether they're doing hospice at home or hospice in a nursing home or assisted living, they can't be there all the time.
Right.
And so this gives an opportunity to provide that extra support that loved ones and patients
A
need as
and I
well.
again, on that, I just love that point, because having gone through, my dad's illness, my whole family supporting him, it really, I know that anybody that's gone through this
Mhm.
kind of scenario where they have a loved one who's going through an illness or at the end of their life, if many times they don't get proper care unless somebody, the squeaky wheel, gets the grease, basically. So our family was, even though we had a ton of people in my family watching vigil over my dad and speaking up on his behalf, there were still battles where he wasn't getting the care he could have gotten. So this is another plus in that sense, that you've got another pair of eyes, as you mentioned, like a patient advocate, to kind of keep an eye over and make sure that loved one is getting what they need. I've experienced that. It takes a village really to get that done. So this
It
is great.
does. It does. And so having, a doula by your side through this, like I said, that's why we said we start early. Um, you don't necessarily have to be on hospice to have a doula. Um, and we can come in and help fill in those gaps. We
Love that.
definitely can.
Make sure people remember that you don't have to be on hospice. It can be part of your end of life plan to incorporate a doula at any point in time. This is
Right.
something that you can incorporate in your plan. So that's great.
Exactly. And so that's where we're at with the school. That's, what we do. That's what our end of life doula program offers is, that we're going to teach you about that. We're going to talk about all of that. Our program offers a companion doula, which is, maybe helping someone that needs, to go to the doctor, or maybe they just, the family needs a break, and you can come in and talk with the loved one, play games with them, help them. This gives you that chance to build that trust with your patients and your families. Um, and then, the life planning doula, doing your advanced directives, your living well, um, then going into your doula. So, like I said before, some doulas do all three, some don't. Some only do companion and end of life. They always interchange. It's really amazing because, like I tell my students, you can't go wrong with getting all three trained in all three areas, because sometimes you might be working with a loved one, a husband and wife, and the husband could be going, and later on, the wife wants some care or needs companionship after the loss of her husband. So you can come in and be her companion and go through her process with her, you know.
That's beautiful. I want to, that brought me a question. I'm sure that other people probably have this kind of question. There are uh, what I call in-home assistance companies out there
Mhm.
that send companions that aren't really trained like this in dealing with the dying experience, but they're just there to do simple things like cook or help someone be fed
Mhm.
or help someone, whatever. And we had some of that with my parents' long-term care insurance that covered people coming into the home, and those companies that brought, we have, basically you're allowing strangers in your home. I'm just going to cut to the chase. So what kind of you know when people are looking to incorporate, I know we're going into the school part of it, but I'm sorry that I brought this, just
No, no, it's
question came
okay.
up. How do people assure themselves that the doula that they're bringing into their personal home is a trustworthy person? What kind of things are in place for that sort of thing?
So the family and sometimes the doulas themselves will provide you background checks, um, and they can provide you. Uh, some do go that extra step and get bonded,
That's it. Yeah.
licensing.
Thank you.
Some don't, some do. But
These are things to look for. Yeah.
right, and you can ask. I usually present them a resume, and I also give them references, not friend references, but like companies that they can call and say, hey, so Anna worked with you at,
Right.
holistic care hospice,
Beautiful.
was she, what type of employee was she, And so, and that's the other good thing is that you can, as a family hiring doulas, you're able to monitor and know who you are allowing into your home to care for your loved one.
Yes. Thank you for clarifying that. I'm sure that people appreciate the answers to these. Now, I know we're switching in. This is, as I mentioned, there are people that are really drawn to this kind of work that, like you, have worked with hospice patients and the through the dying experience all the time. And this is amazing to me that you're offering uh, a course basically, and I want to learn a little more
Mhm.
about this, but it's only $150, and your classes start Saturdays. So that's why I was
Yes.
really eager to just get this thing out today so that people, if you're watching and you're interested in this kind of work, listen, because the training
Mhm.
that Anna is providing with her team of people in her school is really really impressive. So I'm going to turn that back over to you. Tell us about your program.
So our program offers our end of life doula program offers the three areas of training for the companion doula, life planning doula, and end of life doula, and it's all for low cost. Right now, we're doing it for 150. Um, our regular price
That's wicked cheap.
is
That's wicked cheap for a
is four
course.
ninety nine 97, and that
Wow.
and Jeannie, that's what I like to bring up too. Like the doula life movement I feel should be affordable. Um, Many people have lost jobs. Many people are not working right now. Maybe their income has, instead of having two incomes, they're down to one. So we at the International Doula Life Movement want to give everybody that opportunity to get that education and the support because we've got amazing things that come up after the class is over. We still give you support. We're still there to work with you. And I'll go into that. The course time frame is 12 weeks. We meet uh, every Saturday from 10 a.m. Central to about 12, between 12 and 12:30. We wanted to give her a little cushion for ourselves. Um, so we meet, and the first 10 minutes of class, we're going to discuss the previous module, see if anybody has any questions that may have come up. Then we'll go into our lecture. And then the last 30 to 45 minutes, I like to leave open for questions and answers.
Well, so lots of
Um,
good support there.
so that way, there's things that might come up. You're not going to know, and you're not going to know until we get into the class because it's amazing because there's questions and things that maybe I might have not think about. I tell you, every class I've learned something from the students too. It's a learning experience as us instructors, because someone brings up a different niche of doing something, and so
Right.
it's a learning
Love that.
experience for
Shared
everybody.
learning. Yeah,
It
that's great.
really,
Yeah.
really is. Um, and if you can't attend class that day, if you unfortunately have to miss a Saturday class, not to worry. You'll create an account and you'll have a student portal where you'll go in and within about 40, I say give me 48 hours to upload the live class. And I do keep the questions and answers on the recording because I feel if they
Beautiful.
missed it,
Yeah.
they can go back. Oh, that might have been a question they might have had. Um, so they can go back in, watch the recording. Even after this is amazing, even after class is done with, after they graduated, if they want to go back and review on something, they have the live recording to go back and check it out.
Which is very helpful, because sometimes you can hear things differently the second or third time around, and you learn
Yeah,
more from just, continually repeating things. That's a great,
definitely.
great value
Definitely.
there.
Yeah. So it's really awesome. These are the type of modules. This is our modules that we're covering, and I'm so excited. There's a lot of great, wonderful programs.
You should be
Every
excited.
everybody everybody does it differently. And so what I did, I did a research, and I talked to about 30 to 35 doulas around the United States and Canada. And I asked them, what did you like about your program? What did you not like about it? What did you take? What were important things? What things did you wish that were covered? Um,
Excellent market research to really cover what's necessary and needed.
and we talked about
Beautiful.
everything from price to what was covered. And so that's how I created the modules. We have our doula 101 where we talk about what a doula does. We go into what hospice is, because sometimes a lot of people may not, there's some people out there that don't have a full, complete understanding of what hospice does. There's some misunderstandings about hospice. And so we try to hit all those little spots in this module. We also cover a really, really important spot, patient rights. I think it is so, so
What did
important.
you call it? Patient what?
Patient rights.
Oh, gotcha. Yes.
So we go over that and we talk about it because, again, like I said, I like to think of us as doulas, as, advocates for our patients and our families. So we discuss those rights because I feel that they need to understand exactly what those rights are. Then we're going to cover the doula scope of practice and ethics. And then we'll go into the stages of end of life care. And that's where we'll discuss those, things that they're going to see, what they're going to see as they experience and transition their patients. And some little tricks of the trade of little nuggets that can help them to make their patients more
That's
comfortable.
beautiful. Can
And
you tell me what on number 3, what is VSED?
so VSED is voluntary stop eating and drinking. So
Gotcha.
we
Okay.
cover that as
Wow,
well.
beautiful that you're covering all this.
And then we go into the grief and anxiety. We cover anticipatory grief. We cover it, it really is a detailed lesson. Um, and so we cover all of that in there. And then going into module 4, we cover common diseases. I took the United States most 10 common diseases that they'll see um, through their time of work. And we break down those diseases, the symptoms, treatments that we can do as doulas to cover those symptoms, to help with those relief. Um, Going into infection control and transmission, personal protective equipment, we actually sit down and we talk, and I show them an N95 mask. I show them the bonnet, the hair, the booties, the isolation gown. We go on, we talk about how to take that off, put that on and take that off. Because, there are some people that come into this line of work who were caregivers, maybe they weren't a CNA or a nurse. So they get a chance to learn the proper ways to keep themselves protected and to protect their families that they're working.
So important. Wow.
Yeah. So
Especially now in the pandemic and
exactly,
going forward.
exactly.
Yeah.
What type of mask should you be wearing at what times? A lot of people don't understand that there's different types of masks. So we go over all of that. Um, then we go into pediatric hospice and parent loss. This module, I would have to say, is such an informational module. Hospice companies are starting to put pediatric hospice teams together to help parents with pediatric loss. And so this module, we talk about the stages of development, about siblings, because sometimes families don't want to share that with the siblings. They don't want them to go too much into debt or depth of talking about death. So we let them know it's okay to be honest,
Right.
answer the questions. And if you can't answer their question, that's okay too. Let's find someone that can help us answer those
Right.
questions for them.
Right.
So we talk about resources, and then this module is really awesome too because I'll have special guests come in and talk with the students as well. So it is a jam-packed module that day, and it's just got so much information. It's amazing. Then we go into our communication and teledoula.
So important right now in the pandemic
Yes,
world going
yes.
forward still.
And so we talk about record keeping, what we need to do as doulas, keeping our records, HIPAA, documenting the care that we're giving, keeping notes. How do you write your notes on that? So we discuss all of that in that module right there, and we talk about the teledoula, what we can do, and things that we're going to be looking out as doing that role when we're doing providing that service to our clients and our families. And so that's just an amazing module there too. Then we go into our home wakes, cremations, funeral, green options. We talk about what exactly is those things because not everybody knows
Exactly.
and they don't know that there's these options.
And they're
So
available to them. Yes.
and it's
This is
available.
everything.
So
Yeah.
we just let them know about that, and then we go into our life planning where we discuss what is a DNR, what is a living will, what is your advance directive. There are also some other little helper tools out there. So we get our students
Resources. Yeah.
aware of those and
Yeah.
get them into that conversation starter games and things
Great.
that they can use for their clients. Then we go into religions, and we try to touch. There's so many religions out there, and so it's impossible to touch on all of them. But when we talk about our religions, we're going to discuss a little bit of a history about the religion, and then we're going to go into more about their end of life care,
Yeah. The
what their
customs. Yeah.
beliefs, their
Yeah.
customs,
Right.
certain religions. You may not even be able to walk in the room once the patient passes. Depending on the religion. So we talk about that and we go over that, and then we'll do an overview of the course, and then we'll open up the exam so everybody can take their exam.
Dun dun dun.
Then the exciting fun part, we go into our case study internship, which right now is going to be online because many places are not letting volunteers come in and things like that. So I found that our case studies work really well because they're real live cases that have happened, real life experiences that we've experienced, worked with patients and families. They'll be given a scenario. They're going to go through that scenario, and they'll have an option to either work in a group with another student, or they can do it individually, and they'll present their case study to the class so that they can everybody. It's a wonderful learning experience for everybody. It really is. Um, and then of course the self-paced online class will submit theirs. Uh, they can either do like a recording or a written paper.
I
But
love
I
how you and your team have, first of all, this is an incredibly comprehensive course for only $150. It's kind of a scream unheard of to do that in this day and age. But I love the heart behind offering this in a very affordable way, but also the fact that you guys have really jumped on the technology to keep people connected and safe throughout the quarantine pandemic scenario and
mhm,
made that a part of this, and not just a part of how you're going through this course, but a part of how you would learn to care for others in this scenario. This
yeah.
is really a holistic kind of comprehensive course that you've put together. Tell us about the graduation. How you doing that?
So we do a live graduation for our live classes. I think it's really important because a lot of programs they go and they just they complete it self-paced or whatever. But we feel with International Doula Life Movement, it is an accomplishment to get through this class and get your certification. So we want to recognize that, and we want to recognize our students. And this is a time where students can invite friends and family into the graduation, and everybody takes part and of the graduation, and it's amazing. We have a guest speaker come in, so it is a lot of fun, and students really enjoy having a graduation ceremony.
It's
And it's
done
it's
by Zoom, or how do you
on
do it?
Zoom.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's on Zoom. It's
That's
awesome.
awesome.
It's a lot of fun. And then we come back after graduation, and they're a
What?
doula
Who does
practitioner
that?
now.
Who comes back after graduation? And they
So
do what? I'm sorry to
we
interrupt.
come back as doula practitioners now, and we're going to talk about business planning and their wellness. So
Super helpful for people, super helpful. Yeah.
we will talk to them. So we'll have that class. Then once the class is completed, this last class, the last module, we will have a open forum on a Facebook page group where the students can come in, and we're going to have some accountability in the group. And so for the first 6 weeks, we'll meet, we'll have a Zoom meeting. This is a total voluntary. If they want to do it, they can do it. If they don't have to. But
So this is after graduation, a 6-week period that you're still supporting these people?
we are
Okay,
supporting our
wow,
students.
that's
So they
amazing.
can come in and meet with us once a week, and we are going to work together to craft their mission statement, their vision statement, um, setting up their name, and making sure that all their forms and paperwork's together, all their welcome packets and things like that, making sure everything's ready, good to go for them. And so we take about 6 weeks, so that way we give them a little. They usually don't need the full 6 weeks, but it gives them time to have that extra support as things may come up. They have someone to turn to and get help with. And so yeah, so we try to keep ongoing support. Then after that, we'll offer once a month. We'll have continuing education, free continuing education once a month. They'll be able to come in. We'll have different topics. Um, and they'll come in, do their, it'll be a recording that they'll have access to, so they can either watch it live or come in and watch it later on a recording. Um, and then once we're going to be starting after in the next 6 months, I would say we're going to have some resource classes that will come in. And those resource classes, Jenny, were so important to me to make them affordable. I've seen where people add extra training classes and they want to charge a lot of money. And so because we are encouraging the movement, and we want to help people, and we understand right now our country's in a trying time right now. So we want to give support. So when those resource classes come out, those classes will be priced at a very low, reasonable price. We're talking maybe some classes might be $10, 15,
Wow,
$25. Trying to keep them. Now, if it is an extended class where it's going to take a couple weeks to do, it might be a little bit more, maybe
right.
50. But it just depending on the topic and the presenter of that class. But we definitely want to give some support to our students, not just after, just during the class. After they become a practitioner, we want to still offer support and be supportive to them in their endeavors as well.
That's really wonderful, and it's like a mastermind group of people that all are on the same movement to do this kind of, noble work for other people, and meeting with other people on a regular basis who are also involved in that work. Like you said, they're gonna learn a lot from just learning from other people that have just been through that training. So that's an amazing, and then a follow-up, kind of mastermind group is you don't usually see that kind of thing. So this is an incredible program that you've built.
Thank
I'm
you.
proud of
And you
you.
know what?
That's
And
pretty
it's so
amazing.
awesome because as our students go through our class, we will have a directory, so that you can come into a directory if you're in a different area and you need someone to help service a client in another state. You can go to the directory and say, oh, you know what, this person went to the classes, they have the same training that I do, and they can go in and make that referral and connect with that doula
And
in
that
another
directory
state.
will be on your website? Where would
Yes.
Oh, that's
So we'll
wonderful.
get that up and going soon.
Good
Bef-
resource for me and my clients.
yes, it's awesome because you can go in, look at your area and see where, if you need somebody in that area, because there are so many areas that are still, there's no doula in a 50-mile radius. I mean, it's still a
But it's
growing
growing and
profession.
you're helping it grow, basically. What is this NEDA? Tell people what NEDA,
The NEDA
stands
prep.
for.
So if the student decides to want to become a part of become membership and part of the organization of the NEDA, the National Doula Alliance. Um, this is a little prep that we work together on, just talking about what the study guide through what their testing is, because they do have a membership, and then they can choose to take a test and get a little badge that will be sent to them, a digital badge that they can put on their website and show families that they are associated with the National Doula Alliance. And so um, there's just so much information and things that are just international doula life movement is just growing right now. And we're also excited because we have representatives. We're starting to get right now we have a representative in Florida, we have a representative in Massachusetts, we have a representative in El Paso. um, that we are having representatives so that when the students, if they need more help or they need some more guidance, they can go to our representatives, our International Dual Life Movement representatives, and or come to me and say, "Hey, Anna, I'm in this location. Do you have a representative here?" And I can match them with our representative, and that representative can help, be a mentor to them as well.
That is really amazing. Gosh, Anna, this is such an incredible, very comprehensive, holistic, affordable program that clearly has the heart, at the root of what you're doing, caring for other people and making the death experience and the dying experience a much more human, relatable, and feasible thing that we can all kind of handle in a more, you know, just a more natural way. So that this is just an incredible program, and I'm so glad to have had you as my guest today. Did you have anything else on the screen that you wanted to share with anybody? Or you?
Oh, okay.
Oh, you
Real
do?
quick, I need to go back to the graduation. So when we have our graduation, of course, it's online, it's on Zoom. All your assignments and your exam and your internship will be done, and then you'll get the benefits of the alumni support group. So that will take place after graduation. Um, Here is our information. If you have any questions, you want to maybe meet with me. I do love meeting with our students. So I schedule Zoom meetings to meet with students, answer their questions. I'll even give them a little glimpse on the PowerPoint, what our PowerPoints and our training looks like, show them a little glimpse of the student portal. So it's just so exciting and so amazing to see when you have these students go through the class and they're just on fire afterwards, and so um, they just get this fire to go and help and service. And so it's just really awesome. It is just really awesome, and I am so happy to be, to have the International Doula Life Movement, because it's not about me, and it's not about, um, eh, it's about helping others
Yeah.
and helping to shape and train and give that knowledge to others so that they know how to help these families go through this process.
Right. It's very
And
clear to me that you're doing this to serve others, and I'm sure that the people that in my group that first of all, that if they didn't know about doula, this has been incredibly helpful and educational, but also I know of many members in the Creative Memorial Planning Group that are very interested in this kind of training. So we'll definitely make sure that all these links are below so they know how they can get this amazing deal. And it starts on Saturdays, so this deal is very timely, very limited opportunity, but I hope people will, reach out to you and check those links, at the end so they can kind of learn a little bit more about that. This is really, oh, look at that. This is you confused me. This is just an amazing project for you personally, using your expertise through everything you've gone through working with the dying, but also what a great way to expand the movement for others to really get this, take the opportunity to have death be a natural part of your
Mhm.
personal relationships. And because none of us are immune from that, all of us go through this. And I think this movement that you're creating to train people in doula work, and for people like me to hire doulas to be with us at the end in our end of life plans and for our end of life experience, it really brings, you know uh, kind of, it takes the mystery out and it takes the sterility out of the death experience, and it brings it into something that I think is such a much more meaningful human to human. And because of that human to human part of it, which you're very clearly an advocate of, I think it takes the sting out of the fact that we all die and the fact that we're all going to lose someone. So this is why I
Let's do it
wanted to,
right.
yeah, I really wanted to feature you and go really deeply into what this topic is so that people understand this is an alternative to those traditional ways that It's right here. It's available to you. And if you are called to do this kind of work, and I know many of you are, what an incredibly affordable way, but also a very comprehensive, holistic way, and a way of building community amongst yourselves for those who are doing that kind of thing. This is a brilliant project for so many people. So I wish
And
people could hear my applause for you. This is
thank
really
you.
awesome for all of us, really.
And and it is beautiful to see when students start interacting with each other. That's why I love the live classes so much,
Yeah.
because you get to meet other people from other states, other parts of, and so
Right.
the
Right.
friendships that get built, the relationships that get built between everybody, it's just
Right.
amazing. It
Well,
just, overall is such an amazing blessing. The
And
whole
yes, because I really think it's that these grassroots kinds of movements for and from and by the people are really where the power is, with
Mhm.
everything, and I really applaud all of this. And I know this has been kind of a long video, but I really wanted people to hear this, and I'm really grateful to you, Anna Adams, for sharing
Thank
your
you.
amazing
Yes.
program. So we're gonna wrap it up if that's okay. And so if you're interested in this, affordable cutting edge end of life doula training, watch for the links below because we're going to plop all that info for you. And please share it with someone that you know who might also be interested in this. And
Mhm.
if you want to learn more about, how to incorporate a doula in your end of life plan, you can reach out to Anna, and you can also reach out to me because this is part of what I do for your end of life planning, pre-planning stuff. So gosh, thank you. This has been
Thank
really
you
something.
so much. And I'd like to just remind anybody that's interested as well, we do have a payment plan.
Oh,
So
thank you.
if you contact me, we will get you set up on a payment plan and we will get you started so you can join our group that's already been forming on Saturday. So it's first day of class is this coming Saturday, January 9th at 10
That
a.m.
is
Central.
that is so amazing. Thank you so much, Anna Adams. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and I hope you take advantage of that and have a wonderful, first of all, happy new year, and have a wonderful
Yes,
rest of
Happy
your
New
day.
Year.
Thank you for sharing this.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.